All right, I'm getting some questions about how to make this part and what the steam piston was really look like, and so that's part of the problem is you got to figure out what's going on to be able to make a section view for this. So we're going to look at this thing right here, and this tells us all these things are about diameters. There's diameters, so that means it's going to be round. Everything's going to be round, and there's a center line going right through there. So everything's going to kind of go around that center line. So when we look at this and know that this is a solid, we come back down here. There's going to be an empty space right in here, right? So that means that this is solid right here, that's solid. This back over here is an empty space. So we start looking at these things and kind of trying to figure out what's happening. And this right here is an indicator that there's a diameter here. And well, what does that diameter do? If this is a solid right here, that comes down. So that's got to be an opening. These lines right here show a rib. So this shape like starts like right here, goes up, curves in this way, comes around, goes right here like this down to there because it's an empty space below it, comes around like this down to here and back across there, and it's going to be a half an inch off of there because that's an inch deep. So I'm going to go ahead and try making that part. This is the end what it's going to look like right there when we do that. So I'll go ahead and start a new drawing just so everybody can see. You should go to classes. When you do this, you go to class and go to tech drawing, and you're going to find the drawing down here wherever it's at, and get started on it. It's going to be this one right here. Once we got it open, we're going to go in here and kind of go about this. This is it's in inches, so I'm going to change my units, make sure it's inches. I'm going to go ahead and change it to, well, I'm going to leave it 3 decimal places for now just because. All right, when I go in here, I'm going to go right here, click New Sketch, and I'm going to think of that shape that I have right there. I'm going to sketch that first and got to attach it to your origin point. So right click, confirm that right there, and I'm going to start by just clicking somewhere right here. I'll just go up to about there, over to here, maybe go up to here, out this way a little bit, trying to remember what that shape looked like, and I think it was like, oops, this here, and I know it came down to a negative space here. I'm not going to line that up directly. I can fix that later if I want. This one I think was lined up, so I don't mind if that one is. So it looks kind of like that. Right, so that's my shape, and I've got my origin point just up above there. So now, now I can go in here and I'll start looking at some things. I'm going to double check that 375. That's the same all the way across. So I can do this, do a horizontal constraint between this point and this point. So now they're horizontally constrained, and do the same on this one and this one. Right, so now it's horizontally constrained. All right, so I'll start putting some of those dimensions on there, remembering that these are all going to stay the same. All your horizontal ones will stay the same, but the vertical ones are only going to be half the size from there. So 475 to, and so 475 is that one. So I'll start by doing a dimension that goes from, oh, you know what I'm going to do? Because I'm going to revolve this whole thing, I'm going to draw a line, and I'm going to do this where I go to midpoint and draw this line out here like this, and I want to change that line to a construction line. So I'll click that and click construction because I don't want it to be a solid line. So now I got something I can dimension to, and I'll start by doing a dimension that goes from here out to here, right there, and that is 4.75 divided by 2. Oops, I'll drop that there. 4.75 divided by 2, and that gets that outside dimension there. When I look at some of these other ones, let's look at another one here. We'll look at that one's 5.75, but it's going to go from there. So it is a dimension from here down to here is 5.75 divided by 2 because it's the radius. So those two, so they're black and they're in the correct, they're done correctly. This is the point right there is where right above my origin point, so my origin point is right there. So if this one's 1 and that one's 2, so I'll go back here, and this one, this dimension from here to here is supposed to be 1. Oh, it's not. Oh, that'll catch you off guard right there. So delete that dimension. I want to do a horizontal constraint on that line right there. So now I can put this dimension on here that goes from here to here, and that's 1 divided by 2, right? So that makes that 0.5, and this one was 2 inches, so it is going to be 2 divided by 2 right there. All right, so then I wonder what that one right is right there. The inside of that was 375, So this one right here, dimension from here to here, is 3.75 divided by 2. So now I got all my horizontal lines are black, so they're constrained where I need them to be. Now I'm going to worry about these vertical ones. So these will all be the same. So from this point forward is 0.75. So I'll put a dimension on right here that goes from here to here and here to here, from there to there, and this is 0.75. Right, and then this was directly over that. This part going back this way, right there, that goes back 0.25. So this line right here is 0.25. I think the one on the other side is the same because it's going to be about the same right there. So well, from one side to the other here it says it's 0.5. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll go from here to here is 0.5. Is that going to be right? That doesn't look right. Oh, no, 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 no. That is definitely wrong. It's from here to here is 1 inch. So let me change that real quick. I want to change that to 1 inch there, because this part right here from here to here was 0.5. Right, that part was 0.5. Oops. That's 0.5. Now we're looking at just those two left out there. So from here back to here is 1.62, and then this one's 3.25. So 2.62 and 3.25. So I'm going to put this dimension on here. I'm going to go from here to here, that from here to here, and that was 2.62. And then this one, I'm just going to drag that out a little bit, because this one from dimension from here to here was 3.25. I'm double check that. 3.25, 2.62, 2.62, and 3.25. So that's what my finished product looks like right there. All right, so then at this point I'm going to check that right there, and I'm going to click revolve, and I'm going to make sure I click this solid right there. That's my surface. My rotation axis is this one, and that's what that looks like there. So there's a few things we're going to change on here to finish things up a little bit, but that's what that looks like. Right, and I do know that there's a radius here and there's a radius there, and both of those are 0.25. So I'll click on a fillet right there. I'm going to change my radius to 0.25 there, and I'm going to click on that surface and this surface. And if I remember correctly, they were on both sides. So I'll click on, oops, let me get a little bit more here. I want to click on that line and that line right there. So those make those round in there. So that should cover that part of it. And I do believe that's the whole thing. That's all we need there for that thing, that part of it. Okay, so now you can turn these off if you want. You don't have to. All right, but you got a good look at what it looks like. So then we'll save that, or it's going to save it automatically, and we're going to create a new drawing from there. Now in this case, I'm going to go ahead and just do my regular drawing, but from the view that I had, I probably want to come straight at it, looking straight at the front there. Let's see what it comes in. So this is my side view, and that's the one that was in the textbook that was confusing. So I'm going to switch this to left right there and have left look, we're going to look at the left side of that. So I'll click that right there and put this here, and if I were to put in a side view right there, or I'll drop that one into place. If I right click on it and hold on real quick. If I right click on it and then click, you don't have to do this part, show the hidden lines, it's going to end up being like, this is just as confusing as what we had in the textbook right there. That's what that view is. So you don't want to do that view. We want to create a section view right there to kind of be able to dimension some things. So we'll go up here to section, and we're going to create a section view, and we're going to put that right here. Just grab it right there on that part, and we'll just drag this over here like this and put that in there. So it's going to go in there, and the solid parts of it is going to create section lines for. So now I've got section lines in there. That's how you create the view. At this point, we're going to start talking about how to dimension this thing. Give me a second here. I don't know if you noticed, but I had to help a student there. All right, so I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to start putting dimensions on, and I'll just start dimensioning the things that need to get dimensioned, and I'll start with the outside diameter there. Oh, I'll make this one, I'm going to change this to make that to 2 decimal places, and then that's that one. Then I'm going to look at some other ones here and dimension the next one here. We could go as 4.75. the next one in. I'm dimensioning solid lines 3.75. The fillets and stuff are right in here. So I'm going to go right here, right click on this view real quick, hit escape and right click, and I want to turn off my tangent edges so you can't see those, because they create confusion right there, and that's not what we need to do. We need to make it so there's no confusion. So I'll dimension this next line on here, that's 2 inches, and then this one is 1 inch right here. But this one is a little bit different. We want to change that to, say, space THRU, and I want all caps on there. Oops, hit the wrong button on my keyboard. THRU, so that's through. So we got a through hole. So that covered all of that. And then this one, we'll go in here and we're going to add center lines between that and this, and that's fine right there. I'll just click this one and I'm going to just drag that out so it goes through the whole thing. Alright, so that tells us there's center lines. And then we'll go ahead and I'm going to dimension some things here from the top. I will dimension that line to that line and make sure that that's 0.5. And that's clean. You can do it that way. Might do it this way too. A little bit right there like that. I might do this line then next and put that one there like this, and maybe do, I don't like the way that touches right there, so I'm going to grab that one and put that, alright, so I'm going to do a horizontal, I want to go from here to here and put that right there like that, because I want to have that gap, and I'll do the same from here to here, and this is going to end up being a reference, so I'm going to double click this and change this so it adds parentheses around it. That's a reference because you don't want to over dimension. We're telling everybody what it is, but what we're going to do is we're going to come down here, we're going to move section AA out of the way for a minute, and then I'm going to go up here and put a dimension on that goes from that endpoint to this endpoint and put that in there, and I'm also going to say that I need a dimension that goes from here to here, and that one is 0.75. Excuse me. And then I'm going to do my total, go from here over to here, and that tells us what the total size of that part is, which is what makes that reference significant. Alright, then the last thing we're going to do is go in here and put a dimension in that says what this fillet is that we put in here. That one is 0.75 or 0.25 right there, and this one on the outside here is also 0.25. And then we're done. Then we're ready to go on down here. Click on this and call it what we wanted to call it, which was steam piston, and then we'll go down here and 289-8-53, and then that's it. Alright, that's our part. You double click your mouse wheel and that's the whole thing. You could go in here if you wanted to create an isometric view to kind of share if you wanted to do a little bit of that, so somebody can see what it looks like. And click this right here, and I might change that to, instead of being that, maybe make it a little bit smaller. That's fine. That works out good, so I can put that up over here, and I'll drop that to a third. I'll check that, and then we'll just move it over here, so as you can see, so they can see what it looks like, machines looks like. So that's what that part looks like. All right.